Imagine you're holding a small glass jar, and inside the jar is a single sound. A sound that plays once when you open the lid, a tone you've never heard before. Set that jar down somewhere in your mind. Some people, in the name of rationality, argue that consciousness is an illusion, that the feeling of being someone inside is just the brain simulating wakefulness, that no one is really home. Imagine a cartographer who has mapped every ocean, mountain, and fault line on Earth, but never once marked her own location. There certainly is evidence to make us doubt that the invisible passenger is what we think it is. The brain can act before reported decisions, vision can guide behavior without awareness, and split brain patients can invent explanations after the fact. It can start to look like consciousness is riding shotgun, not driving. Each of these is a crack in the intuition that consciousness is the driver. Each one suggests the steering wheel might be decorative, but how would it look if things were the other way around? If consciousness was absolutely real, would you still expect to see those experiments? I think you would. Because in a universe where conscious beings are also biological organisms shaped by millions of years of survival pressure, you'd expect backup systems. And what would it actually look like if the scientific method pointed toward consciousness? What kind of evidence would confirm it? Only pure fantasy scenarios, like a person dying and their awareness visibly migrates into a nearby object. Science is built to measure external, repeatable phenomena. Asking it to validate a first-person experience is like asking a metal detector to find silence. The absence of a signal isn't proof that silence doesn't exist. It might just mean you brought the wrong instrument. Remember the cartographer who never marked her own location? Her method required measuring the distance between two external points. She could map anything she could observe from the outside, but her own position, that would require a different kind of measurement, one her instruments weren't built for, so she left it blank. That's the situation we might be in. The process of external observation has mapped an astonishing amount of reality, galaxies, genomes, quantum fields. But the one thing it may never be equipped to map is the thing doing the observing. And instead of saying we need a different instrument, some have concluded that the observer simply isn't there. This video isn't going to tell you that consciousness is real, and it certainly isn't going to tell you it's an illusion. What I hope it does is introduce a pause, a small hesitation before certainty. Remember that glass jar, the one I asked you to set down at the beginning? The one with a sound inside it you've never heard before? It's still sitting there, on whatever shelf you placed it, and you haven't opened it yet. You don't know what's inside, you just know something is. That might be the most honest description of consciousness anyone can offer right now. A jar on a shelf, something inside, no way to open it with the tools in the room, and a growing number of voices suggesting the jar is empty, spoken by people who have also never opened it. Perhaps before we seal the verdict, it might be worth considering that 400 years of science knocking at this particular door might not be enough to conclude that there is nobody home.